Hey guys, and welcome back to Wild Plum Farm. So this video that you guys are about to watch, obviously you know Crystal had a request to how to start and maintain a sourdough starter. So the rest of this video is going to be her going through that, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video.
Okay, so I pre-measured it already, but I'm sorry. What you're going to do to start a starter, sorry, this is a complete, excuse my mess, I had trouble getting this in here. But to start a starter, you're going to use 50 grams of whole wheat, all-purpose, or whole wheat flour, sorry, not all-purpose, whole wheat flour. It is recommended that I've seen online you use a higher protein, like 12 or 13%. It helps. And then you're going to use warm water again on this. So you're going to use 50 grams of whole wheat flour and 50 grams of warm water. And the warm water, you don't want it hot, but like if you just stick your finger in, like I explained when I was feeding my starter, stick your finger in it and you can either not feel the difference or you can feel it slightly warmer than your finger. And you're going to put 50 grams of water in it. Okay, so I got some water here. Oops. Yeah, like I said, I'm messy. Oh, there's 50 grams of water. And now you just stir it together really good. Now, kind of looks like that. And I'm gonna put, well, I don't have a lid, but I would put a lid on this. I need to go get a lid. Put a lid on this, and then in 24 hours, so it's like 9:30 right now, tomorrow morning at 9:30, I would take half of that out and then I would probably put it in a different jar, scoop half of it into a new container that I can mix in, like I do with my jar that I feed. And I'd put half of it into there, kind of measuring it, you know, put the container on, zero it out, measure it so that you know how much it is. And then however much that is, so let's say I'm gonna take about half of this, so it's about 25 grams of starter. Then I'm gonna do 25 grams of flour, 25 grams of water, so, and 25 grams of this. So it's 1, 1, 1, if that makes sense. And because the flour, I'm gonna feed it all-purpose flour as well starting to tomorrow. I would do half of 25 grams. So half this, I divide that 25 in half and do half this and half all-purpose flour, and do that tomorrow. And don't get discouraged if it doesn't do anything. What I've read online and what I experienced with mine was on like day 3 or 4, it started to get kind of bubbly, and I was like, ooh, something's happening. And then nothing will happen day 4 or 5. And then all of a sudden 6 and 7, it'll start doing it again. And probably about by day 7, it's ready to be used. So yeah, that's what I did to build mine. And yes, I've also read people say, like, don't be alarmed if absolutely no activity happens for a couple of days. Just keep working at it. It will do something. And just make sure that you constantly have a clean jar. You're always cleaning this out, and that when you started it was a clean jar. You use clean utensils to work with it. Make sure there's no soap residue left on anything. So if you have to quick wash up something that you're going to use to do your starter, make sure you rinse it thoroughly. And then I always dry my things thoroughly so that I'm not adding any extra moisture than what is required. I don't know if that matters, but that's just what I've been doing, and it seems to be working. But yeah, that's how I started my starter, was just follow it. And you don't have to follow my method. Like, I recommend just Google it and see what comes up for how to start a starter, and just read a couple and see which one. Okay, so this is how I maintain my starter. I emptied 25 grams of starter into this jar, and then I put the rest in my discard jar, which I will put back in the refrigerator and save that for making cookies. I made some really good chocolate chip cookies from those. They're delicious. Highly recommend them. But now I will, and I cleaned my jar out, got it all ready. So now what I will do is I add warm water, not hot. You want it to be able to, like, I stick my finger in there and I feel like it's barely warmer than my finger. I'm gonna add this to here. So I've got 100 grams of water. There we go. There's 100 grams. 101. But then I take my spoon. Dry this off. I rinsed it off because I used it to get the discard out. So now I'm gonna stir this. Just kind of stir the starter into the water until it's kind of evenly in there. Evenly distributed. Not super, there's still chunks in there, so, but it's distributed through. Now I'm going to hit tare again, and I'm gonna add, first, I'm gonna add my whole wheat flour, which is 13, I use this one, it's a 13.2% protein content. I have read that it is recommended that it's at least 12 or 13 for protein content to feed the starter better. So we're going to add 50 grams of this. So we're close. It's 48 for 50. There we go. And then I add 50 grams of all-purpose. Okay, so now we have 100 grams of flour, 100 grams of water, 25 grams of starter. And then I will just stir this together. Pardon the dogs. They're having some fun. I'll stir this together till it's well incorporated. And I have to be really careful, otherwise I puff flour all over. Alright. So once that's about like those silly dogs. It's about that consistency. Good and mixed in. I just dump it back in my jar and then put the lid back on it. And in about 12 hours, or this one I'm feeding 24 hours. I could feed it every 12 hours or I could feed it every 24. Just depends on the temperature of the house. Our house is usually about 74 degrees, so I can feed it every 12 if I wanted to. I did let this go 24 hours the last 2 days and it's been just fine. It's not too sour smelling. If you notice that it's a more sour smelling, like I've read it as described as being acetone or nail polishy. So if it's like really sharp like that, it should be tangy. Like right now it has a little tangy smell, but it also has like a wet flour smell. I try to kind of shake it around and level it out, and then I just draw a line roughly where it's at and height wise, and then let it do its thing. And I gotta clean my finger off. Just kind of I just set it on the counter and let it do its thing. In about 12 hours it should peak, and I should be able to either use it, or like I said, I can feed it again if I wanted to make it like extra strong and active, or it can go 24 hours and then I just pop this back in the refrigerator. I do need to make more cookies because this is quite full. So that's how I maintain my starter. Be this precise, but I am this precise. All right.
was enough, I guess.